Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're continuing our rise of civilization because as we know, the world ended because of a nuclear Armageddon. We will begin in the African Aqua country, which kind of collapses. Not fully. There's a little bit of itself going to be left over. But within the south, one of the state province things with a local ruler, which is around Ethiopia, Somalia area. They declare their independence. Quickly, they sweep through lands, and they manage to get a hold of these lands. Within the north, the northern ruler decides independence is the best route for their people. And as a light brown nation has formed, this nation has become pretty incompetent. And supposedly they say it's an incompetent ruler is why they leave, who is basically lost most of their land. The collapse of the first country in this series has happened. There has been civil wars and stuff such as that, but this is the first actual collapse. As we can see, the light purple country has emerged. But the green country also experiences a revolution, as the biggest complaint of the people are as follows. Basically, they don't like how the country is being ruled, and they feel like they're being neglected because they're so far from the center, which is somewhere around here in Libya or the Egyptian coast. And so a movement up the coast is made, and then around Tunisia they agree to peace, where in the peace treaty these lands will become known as a purple country, as a revolt in the green country happens, forming the southern green nation, which basically they feel like it's culturally distinct, too distinct to be under one ruling nation. As they start around the center of the country, and there's a few gray spots within the country because it's not perfect since it's going from gray to white. And they move up. They take over these lands. And then they quickly move into Cyprus. But on top of that, another nation leaves. As you can see in this episode, a lot of nations are starting to form, including the light gray-blue nation. Which, keep in mind, the green country was a... What was the green country? I'm going to look at what I wrote for the green country's ideology. In the light green... No, that's not light green. That's green. In the green is an aristocracy. No, that's not the right green one. I think it might have changed colors. Oh yeah, that. No, I don't know what that is, but I don't think that's the right one. Light green's aristocracy. I guess it is the green one. And yeah, dark blue, green. Green is an aristocracy. And this is a representative democracy, and they decide to be, well, they're a monarchy, this new place. And since it's a monarchy, that means, well, it's more keen to expand. Republics. But with a new expansion coming, it's called the expansion of Europe. It's the first big exploration into Europe. And the Alps being missed, just because why would you go into the Alps? With Iberia being vastly discovered, and the knowledge of, Europe is greatly increased, with them having gone around the Alps. For the most part. There's probably areas of the Alps they did go through to explore. And most of the lands, they don't really explore here because it's hard to get supplies in from Italy. So a lot of them go up over here near where modern day Netherlands area is. They got over some of the major mountains in Europe, but the Alps they couldn't. But this being the Great European Plain they're at this point. With the green team deciding to go north. Along with the help of the yellow team, which also goes north. But a lot of nations collapse, as nations kind of do. With them going as far north as reasonable, obviously they can't go very far into Finland. This being a big chunk of land unexplored. With them going into Denmark area, and as this area starts to fall, and they start to explore kind of into the southern Nordics. They don't get far in Norway because it's a big mountain. And one of the nations that takes the opportunity to expand a bit is this nation, but they don't expand to all the lands known. Unlike the green country, which is like, well, we found this, we might as well annex it. And the people are like, wait a minute, is this even a good idea? Some of the people of the country are questioning. But overall, nobody really disagrees too much. With them managing to get the Baltic Sea, with its people not being really treated well because it's the nobles running the show and they only see noble interests. But like in the south, it's a pretty big country, but like not that big. With Europe being discovered, a new nation forms. Yep. Basically, it's the Orange Country, which forms around here. And they expand quite a bit. They move down and over. This is what their country looks like, with the purple country moving in. But what the purple country doesn't know is that, well, a nation's going to form to their north. They're trying to continue expanding, but then they run into like a kind of block. Like they can't go any further because a new nation forms and they don't know the power of this nation. Which this nation takes over the Iberian part of the purple team. And doesn't really do well against Italy. They gain some lands, but Italy then moves in and takes it back. But then they move and take the coast and the Atlantic, and they move the Italians back. The Italians agree to peace. Although that is not Italy. Why was I calling it Italy? Don't ask me why. That nation's not called Italy. Just to let you know. It looks like Italy, but it's not. Most of Europe is still empty. With expeditions from the Indian nation, in Central Asia, there's some expeditions from the purple team. But its people aren't popular with expansionism. But India, their people are good. I think we should make this like a representative democracy because it's too big to be a direct. Well, they're exploring a big chunk over here, but they can't really. It's not the most useful land. With expansionism not being that like bad, the people here actually like it. Because in that country it's not like too much. And like as we can see, the yellow team does something. Which there was a war, I guess you could say. But like not Italy, the like thing that looks like Italy has a revolt. And that's where the dark red country forms. As it revolts and moves up and up and up. Taking away and moving over here. Eventually they come to peace, but like the peace terms aren't that good for the other team. They push it back to here just to keep peace. And another area of the country that feels less than ideally not happy about the current way this thing is going is the weird light blue, gray, weird mess color. There's gonna be so many countries. I'm not even supposed to memorize this, but anyways. And so they roll. They roll over the land. And they roll. And these people that weren't happy made their own country. With a decision by this new southern nation to explore into Africa, because it's an African nation, so it says, yeah, let's explore into Africa. This coast. I'm finding quite a bit. And this island is finally discovered, guys. That's so great. At the mainland Europe area of this empire, starting a revolt. Wait, is this a repeat of that color? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, this is better. With them moving into European areas and taking most of it. Which leads this weak area. With this country being more so located up north at this point. causing a bit of problems and some turmoil. And so one nation starts their expansionist idea, and that would be this nation. Although one nation, the people are split, and that would be the red team. But the emperor manages to put it together and get rid of the differences. But like in one side, people have different ideas for the future. The north wants to expand north, like this area. Well, the rest wants to expand in Central Asia. This causes a revolt to kick off, which leads to them achieving their independence. But this nation's now split in two, which they don't like. And this nation expands where they wanted to expand, while the other one expands where they wanted to expand. They both expand at the same time. As they start to get into disputes over land, disputes over everything, because why not dispute everything? That makes it interesting. The nation's easily falling apart at this point. Makes sense. With a lot of nations getting weaker. This Moroccan nation thing expands south. It looks like Morocco, but it's not. I can guarantee. As they expanded, explored, and discovered new discoveries. And they moved down. The nation that has a new ideology. And it's not a democracy, it's not an aristocracy. It's not a representative democracy, it's kind of a democracy, except it's not really representative. And less democracy only, it's kind of like aristocracy democracy kind of thing. But not really an aristocracy. So basically it's a monarchy. But this monarchy, this is where it gets interesting. So this monarchy has, let's say 50 monarchs or something. And there's votes held by about 300 or so people that are all royalty. That color doesn't work. With it being the darkest color we've seen. That's not the darkest color. With them forming their country over here. And this red country decides to expand into Europe. As another nation forms along the Baltic Sea area. They call themselves, let's call them the pink country. Light pink country, pinkish red country. And so this country expands into France, takes over Denmark, and even lands into Sweden. Although Sweden, that's not what it's called, but anyways. Where's our big country? I could with regions of this big Middle Eastern nation. A very dark green, because that's dark. Because why not? With their revolt being demanding better worker conditions, basically. Because they're saying that their area is being oppressed. And their type of economy isn't being valued by the central government. As this kicks off the first revolt, a season of revolts begins. As they're being humiliated on the world stage, their people start to get angry, frustrated, and in the south, another revolt. A sandy revolt, I guess you could call it, because it's all sand over here. With them finally giving up on trying to stay stable. A buffer state kind of thing forms. But not really, wasn't meant to be formed, but a country forms itself over here. As that, country has become weak. This country over here invades. Takes over a sizable chunk. Before this country is no longer what it was. With another local authority taking over these lands. Basically, that's all that's left of that country. And that's where we'll stop it for today. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. That's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. More collapses are to happen in the next episode. So stay in tune for episode 4. Also, the South America series. I figured out what to do for it. Now, and I think we should continue it. And I will add the new countries to my list. So that will be in, I think, aristocracy, monarchies, whatever their ideology becomes. I might have said their ideology's wrong. Like that one is a kingdom, monarch. Not really a monarchy. What would be the word for a monarchy? Democracy. Monocracy. Yep, that sounds like the right word. I don't think it is, but let's see. Although this country is red, it's not communist. It's really, it became an aristocracy. And thank you for watching today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!